Come from the land down under, where the sun is hot and bright. Beaches cool and waves of thunder, morning turns to golden night. So much there is to see, my friend, from the city to the shore. Grab a stool, we'll find an end to keep us wanting more. Down under's calling, can't you hear? Echoes in the breeze, feel the magic everywhere, in the rustling of the trees. Mountains rise and rivers flow, adventures wait around. Meet the world on a winding road in every little town. Oh, the land, it seems to me, with a tune as wild as sea, hands up high and voices free. Down under's where I'll be. Down under's calling, can't you hear?
G'day, folks. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here on this auspicious occasion. You're Ilana.
And you're Shaun.
And together we are the Down Under Cruisers. Welcome aboard.
Good morning, everybody.
It's auspicious because I'm here.
That's a very big word for you at this time of the day.
Which, here?
Suspicious?
Suspicious.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, auspicious. All right.
Welcome in, everybody.
Quick in the chat, who have we got? We've got the Helping Hands for Cruising. G'day, welcome aboard. Who the hell are you anyway? Oh, okay, that was me. We've also got Down Under the Cruisers saying g'day. We've got Daniel Fields. Welcome aboard, Daniel. Nice to have you here. We got Roxy.
Roxy, g'day, Roxy.
Okay, who's this Destination Delight person? I don't know.
Hello, Crystal.
Are they
How you doing?
delightful or Yeah, okay, shut up, Shaun.
Denise.
All right, here we go. Denise.
Denise.
Was los, Denise? Hallo? Denise?
Hello, Denise.
You must be bone tired after your adventures.
Yeah. G'day, Michael Ann. Welcome aboard.
G'day, Michael Ann.
We can't go on together with auspicious minds. Spandau Ballet, Suspicious Minds, is that right?
No.
No?
Elvis, baby.
Well, there's another one.
Yes,
There's another one.
There was, yes. From Cannibals.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right.
I think did it as well. Anyway.
Yeah, Denise has got to give. Anyway, we got somebody in the basement.
Here's someone in the basement.
Yeah, and
who is it in the basement?
I've no idea, but
hello, Chris.
Hang on. We're not there yet.
Excuse me, I'm
Look
saying
at the
hello
right-hand
to
side.
the people.
Look at the right hand side.
Hi.
Look at the. Oh God.
Oh.
What did the cat drag
Let
in?
me out! Let me out! Off the basement.
God is being impatient. All right,
Has
okay.
he done a Tim Tam slam yet down there?
No,
Did we leave him Tim Tams and a nice hot drink to try a slam?
No, he didn't.
Or some Vegemite toast, at least? What lousy hosts we are.
Yeah, I know. Extremely. All right, let's see who it is. Oh, g'day. Welcome aboard. You can speak now.
G'day, Matt.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, you see me now. Hey, look at that. I'm
you're
there.
here. Miraculously.
Hey, well, hi guys.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Just staying warm here in beautiful sunny Michigan. 30-degree, 2-degree C for my Down Under fans or friends. Yeah, it's nice and warm here.
Yes, that
Well,
sounds nice and warm.
hang on a second. You're complaining about being warm. You stole our heat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
have
You
it
stole
back.
our heat.
How
you have it back,
rude,
buddy.
how rude.
Denise has said Elvis. Okay, so I was wrong. G'day, mate, from Cruising Chris M. Welcome aboard, buddy. One military person to another. So there's going to be a few military on board. We have a good reason for this. And the picture will tell a story shortly.
G'day, Cruise Life TV.
G'day, Greg.
G'day, Greg and Michelle.
How you guys? And look
Nice
at it.
to
He's
see
done
you.
it properly.
The shore.
Yeah.
You've got the, yes.
Hello, Ilana and Shaun. There we go.
The way it should be. You.
Yo.
Oh, yo.
From
sorry.
Danny.
Yo.
Welcome aboard, Danny. Nice to have you here. Moderator extraordinaire. As well as Greg going, Denise. Denise. Yeah, everybody gets a super statement except for me. No, Danny's saying g'day to Ilana. Greg's saying g'day to Michael Ann. Danny is. Oh, there we go. Well done, girl. Shaun. There we go. I feel like part of the family now. Denise has Tim Tams on her desk.
Denise, have you been shown how to do a Tim Tam slam? We'll have to teach you sometime.
Danny's
If you
gone Greg, obviously, and then Denise, obviously, but Shaun. Yeah. Greg's gone g'day to Chris, and thanks for the merch. Good on you. You guys are having a good discussion there. Michael Ann is going g'day to you, Matt.
I was all excited. I had my Tim Tams over here, and Crystal moved them.
Oh, no.
I was going to enjoy a Tim Tam with somebody, but apparently not.
What do you expect? It's Crystal taking away your Tim
All the
Tam
joy in life, man.
individuality.
No, those Tim Tams are pretty good. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, you have.
Oh, good on you, mate.
Fantastic.
I've got to
We want to
teach.
see you do
I've got to
one.
teach you how to do the slam. Seeing as we don't have
Fully
any
prepared.
in the house, I've got to teach you how to do the slam.
Yeah, I find they're pretty darn good with some coffee first thing in the morning.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Real quick. The only thing I took from him was the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Why I'm enjoying your show from the living room.
oh, okay. So the Girl Scout cookies get it.
Yeah, the Tim Tams were on the desk next to the Reese's
Yeah, it
eggs.
used to be over the other.
well,
Yeah, I know.
he's got it now.
We're in front of our TV in our bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Reason why you're on.
Yes.
We want to have a bit of a chat about your military days.
I think Matt needs to introduce himself first, because there could be people here who don't know who Matt is.
All right, go
Matt,
ahead.
I'm going to allow ourselves to introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm the world famous Matt DeVries. I don't know how wide my reach goes, but I'm a 6-year Army combat veteran. Served in Germany and in Kansas, as well as 13 months overseas in Iraq in Operation Iraqi Freedom, the first tour. After that, I got out of the Army. And I've spent the last 15 years trying to make operations and manufacturing businesses better. So kind of switched fields. I got out of the Army in 2005, looking for, some way to apply my skills and the things I learned. And I looked high and low in Michigan, and the job market from the top north all the way down south, there is no job market for blowing shit up and killing people in Michigan, and so I got into manufacturing, and I found a passion there. So it's served me well. But that's me.
That's awesome. Denise is saying thank you for your service,
Yes.
as we all do.
Absolutely.
It was my pleasure. I was, it was something I tell people. I didn't do it for any real deep core thing other than that's kind of what made the most sense at the time. And my family, I've got a lot of veterans in my family. I was like, well, I might as well. I didn't have a clear direction, and it definitely gave me some direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just a slight heads up, I just got off the phone a little earlier on with my son. He's currently in the UK, having fun, going traveling and spreading seeds. But his statement is when he gets back home, he's going to look at getting into the service, whether it's reservists or actually boots on the ground. So we'll wait and have to see.
Yeah. It's scary times for that commitment, but also at the same time, I think there's a certain amount of maturity and communal spirit that somebody has to have to make that commitment, to sign up. And I kudos on somebody that's willing to stand up for a broader cause than themselves.
So here's the question. Most of the guys that go in come out okay, correct?
Yeah, I think. I definitely learned some professional drinking skills in the military. But as a net, it's a positive. There's definitely some risks. There's obviously the most obvious one, right? Of life, limb, and whatnot. But that is relatively minor. But the the net benefit, man. My life has changed. I was, got to see you're in a no option opportunity. You're either going to succeed or you're not. And there's no gray area in the military in that regard. And it really forces young men to grow up and man up, right? And teaches them that, the, basics of accountability and the culture within the military is about how do you become, I mean, that's a sole focus of the military with the core values of how do you become not just a good soldier, but a better person as an individual. And the better individuals make a better whole in the Army. That's kind of the core ethos. I was in the Army. But the core ethos there it wasn't just about, hey, I'm an Army guy and I run around and bang, bang, shoot things. It was, no, I need to be an exemplary person because an exemplary person is going to be an exemplary soldier, right? Or airman.
Absolutely.
Or Marine. And so this core ethos is something that sometimes people don't always get out, in their own lives. And they say, the old story is here in the States, people get told, go join the Army or go to jail. But the rationale behind that is like, you're in that young man's, volatile situation. And, without some of those lessons learned, the military provides that, that guidance, it's, grow you up, learn your morals, learn your values, and become a model person so you can become a model soldier.
Yeah. I want to say from the outset, for anybody who's listening in that thinks I'm being anti-military, I am not. I've got a great deal of respect for the guys and for their service. I do also know that there are some people that can't handle the time that they've had there. And for one reason or another, things don't go right, whether it be PTSD or whether it be a physical injury or whatever the case might be. I have a great deal of respect for the guys, and all I want is for the betterment. And I'm really extremely appreciative of everything they do, whether they are US or Australian or South African soldiers. Don't care. They put their lives on the line to save their country, and that's what I'm greatly appreciative of. So, having said that, there have been moments where I've spoken to a number of ex-military personnel, and their time has ended not in a good way.
Yeah.
Do you have any pointers for those kind of people?
I mean, that's, I don't want to go, it's a little tough subject for me. We lost a few at the time when I was over there. Our unit was had experienced the most losses of any American unit for, I think it was like 30 years before that happened. Since there had been, unfortunately, worse units, but that point, my point, I say that to make the point that we experienced quite a bit of that challenge, right? You get close with people, you learn to count on them, and the fraternity in the military is like nothing I've encountered anywhere else, as far as the camaraderie and the gentlemen and some of these guys that may or may not be on the line here now. Some of them use contact with them for a decade or more, and you make contact and it's like you never lost, right? It's brothers that I would literally die for. Like I wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice myself for them or their families. And these are people that I haven't seen in 12, 20 years, some of them. And that sort of relationship isn't built anywhere else, right? Not that I know of. And so to lose some of those people that are that close, it's family members at that point, right? And so you're there. Thank God I wasn't there to watch firsthand any of my brothers perish in my hands or in my presence or anything like that. But I did have brothers that left. And I call them brothers because that's what they are. Like some of these guys are closer than my actual brothers.
Yeah.
And there's a handful that I talk to regularly, almost every week, if not sooner, more often than that. And then there's, vast majority. It's probably every year or two we get, in chats. And then there's a couple of the units. We have little chat groups and we keep in contact. So there's probably 30, 35 guys that I still regularly communicate with from 20 years out.
How are you guys looked after once you're finished your service? What's in place for you?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of how much you raise your hand, in my personal experience, right? So there, and my family and I was kind of raised with the mindset we're not loud grumblers. So, I've not partaken of much, if very little, organized support other than network support. I've joined the VFW and the local community just to meet a couple other veterans. I support some guys, as well as I've done some outreach through the church and the community of helping other veterans get sober and get back into their right life. Because coming out of that, and we can get into that later about the transition, but the transition really volatile, going from one extreme. And I see you've got the picture there of the guys in the background, and that's Sergeant Selajic, if I can get my hand right there. That was my platoon sergeant there, the bald guy there, and that's Sergeant Gene Daly. I don't give him the fingers there. Those are the guys that I walked across the border, or we rode, but across the border from Iraq and Kuwait, and you can't replace that camaraderie, right? And those memories. Like I haven't talked to Sergeant Sal in 25 years, and I know that he'd give me the shirt off his back if I needed it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why we're going down this path with the line of questioning is, I don't know if you guys can see, but in the background there we've got a cruise ship funnel, which means that the next cruise we've got coming up is in 2028, and we've called it the Heroes Cruise. I've got a bit of a promo on it. I'm just going to run it, and then we can have a bit of a talk about that afterward. Is that all right with you, Matt?
Absolutely.
All right, let me get this started.
Backpacked in the hallway, boots by the door for one stay home. Calendar's finally empty, phone on silent, radio on low. You've carried strangers' midnights, stayed till every siren faded out. Today you're bored in sunshine, leaving all that weight on the dock for now. The helping hands for cruising puts the heroes on the way. First to run into the fire, now you're sailing toward a change. From the station, from the front line, to an ocean-colored view. Helping hands for cruising helps the world say thank you to you. Salt air on your shoulders, coffee and a sunrise split the sky. The laugh line's getting deeper, talking like you finally got the time. Old scars, quiet stories start to loosen up around the rail. You remember how to breathe again with every gentle roll of the tailwind trail. Helping hands for cruising puts puts the heroes on the waves. First to run into the fire, now you're sailing toward a change. From the station, from the front line, to an ocean-colored view, helping hands for cruising helps the world sing. Thank you to you for every night you never slept, every vow you always kept. This is more than just a trip. It's a little grace, a lifted grip. See the water, feel it prove, even heavy hearts can move. Helping hands for cruising puts the heroes on the waves. First to run into the fire, now you're sailing toward a change. From the noise and from the sirens to an endless sky of blue, helping hands for cruising helps the world say thank you to you. Yeah, helping hands for cruising. This time the healing comes to you.
Yeah, thank you
Wow.
guys. We want to
That
thank
is
you for your
beautiful.
service. Now,
Thank you.
what the cruise is all about is pictured there a whole genre of people, whether they were first responders, being police, ambulance, or fire, military service. Answer me a question. I know I'm going to stomp on a couple of toes when I make this comment. Army is military. Navy is military. Is the Air Force military? Oops,
Absolutely.
sorry.
In the United States, at least, the Air Force was formerly a department of the Army. It's now its own branch of the military. But
So when did that happen?
I want to say in the 60s, maybe 50s. It was a while ago.
So,
Okay.
the cruise is going to have all branches of the services, whether it be fire, police, ambulance, all the military. But also, as you noticed there, we were talking about Gold Star families as well. And we want to, and there are times where Gold Star families are struggling because their partner's not around. And for those that are not knowledgeable, Gold Star families are those that have lost family members during their service. So we want to honour all of those people and put them on a cruise ship. What do you reckon that would do?
I mean, that's I think soldiers and veterans and airmen and sailors and Marines, those guys are crayon eaters. No, I love Marines. They all benefit, I think, in knowing that what we went through or what we risked and what went on was not just for an empty audience, for nobody that acknowledged, right? And so those gestures, well, myself I'm highly embarrassed every time someone comes up to me and is like, hey, I struggle with that, I'll be honest. And a lot of us like to kind of go below the radar, but even still, even though sometimes it makes me uncomfortable, it's acknowledgement, right? And it lets me know that somebody it meant something what I did. And even though I don't really tell many people what all we went through, it kind of reminds us sometimes that even if we like people like myself, where I'd rather not some days, lets people care, and that it meant something to people, and that it wasn't just for whatever purpose your mind can come up with.
Okay, so right now we don't have the ship, and we don't have the itinerary. We do have a rough date. which is round about September, October, November, somewhere around there in 2028. We know
Yeah.
that we're going to be leaving out of Port Canaveral, and we know that we're going to be heading somewhere down towards the Caribbean. Now, I also know that this will be the first time you jumped on a cruise.
Yeah, this would be my cruise virginity. I'm gonna have to get my sea legs on and you know learn my Navy cadences and whatnot. But yeah, it's gonna be
So,
fun.
so with all your mates that have gone through the stuff that you've gone through, are looking for a bit of respite, and it's your first along with theirs. What is the thing that you're looking forward to the most?
Um, I've been I don't know if anybody's been aware, but I've been around the HH4C organization in the periphery for the last 2 years, working with Crystal and kind of listening in and unfortunately, circumstances didn't allow me to go on the R&R cruise with everybody this last year. But so I've been exposed to the experience indirectly as far as seeing the pictures and hearing the stories and talking with you and Alana and Chris and some of the other HH4C members, um, Michael Land as well, and hearing the stories and the excitement that people have coming out back from trips, as well as colleagues and friends of mine that have gone on cruises. It's something that we I've raised 4 kids and you know gone through my own life challenges. Cost wise, it was just kind of prohibitive for me to go on a cruise, and without really a direction and planning, it just wasn't on my radar. But being around you guys and Crystal, the inspiration came there, and being around other cruisers and learning about there is some planning involved, right?
Absolutely.
And both the excursion as well as the fiscal planning for the endeavor, um, and realizing, oh yeah, because if you look at the initial sticker price of said activity, sometimes it's a little bit wary, but if you plan for it appropriately, it's actually completely manageable and actually quite economical approach, outside of any
Go
incentive.
on. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just it's an interesting, peel everything off the vacation experience, and it's an interesting proposition that I'm looking forward to learning. I'm all about trying everything at least once, and then if I like it twice, or if I'm dumb 3 times, but you know, and I'm always looking forward to those new experiences. So I couldn't be more excited about this trip in 28.
So,
I was going to say, well, the feedback from our recipients is that a cruise is as good as having, it's like medicine for the soul. And that is really what we're after. That's
Sure.
the main takeaway, we hope.
Sure.
I just want to put this out there. It will be your first cruise. Both you and Crystal have gone on a savings plan to get yourselves booked on that cruise. HH4C will be putting on, we believe, 10 recipients. Those 10 recipients are going to come from all of the branches of the service. As an assistant now, as you know, my son had his first cruise on the Rock and Roll, and he had the point of being MC for that cruise, and he actually gained a lot of benefit out of it, as well as Dan, who was our recipient. How do you see yourself assisting other guys that will be the recipients on board that cruise? How do you think that will change you?
I haven't really thought about that yet, if I'm honest. I've been more excited about the cruise, the opportunity, as well as some of the mechanics behind the scenes. Working with Crystal on some of her challenges in her current role. I really haven't thought about the individual experience, but I think particularly given my age and the era I served, I was right at the early phase, right at the invasion of 2003 is when I went over. And then I unfortunately I don't know if unfortunate, but whatever the fortune is, I made the decision to leave the military in 2005. But so that puts 20-year gap between me and my service. Whereas, a lot of these younger guys have gone through probably even worse stuff than I experienced recently, and having an older mentor who's, I've gone out and entered the civilian life. I've transitioned. I went through, I was diagnosed 20% disabled as I left service with PTSD and some hearing loss, as well as a couple other things. And, going from combat mode, full combat gear, armor, plates, ready, watching, the opposition shoot at you and returning fire and all of that stuff. And then coming into the civilian world where you get mad, you can't yell profanities at people. I mean, a simple little transition. It was like, oh yeah, I'm not I'm not in the army anymore. I'm not, in that. I don't have that. And I'll be honest. There's a little bit of an adrenaline addiction that comes in from having that. That situation where you're authorized. Lethal force is authorized.
Yep.
I mean, you think about that. Have you ever been anybody else ever been told it's okay to kill some people around here? And that transition to wait, that's not normal. That is not how you operate. That's not the right mindset. And I say that as an extreme example. There's a million intermediary things that are on that same spectrum where it's like, you can't do that. That's not how you operate anymore. That's not how the real world works. And that transition can be harder for some than others.
Yep.
And me personally, I definitely felt that, like, that low of, it's almost like coming down off a drug of, what do I do now?
Yep.
You kind of want that, there's a little bit of an adrenaline, endorphin kick from that. And then how do you go back to being normal again? And it takes some time, right, to learn that, there's no such thing. And that, so I feel like I've learned those lessons, and those young guys, hopefully I can show them, there is ways out of that. And it's not as weird or dark or scary as it may seem in the moment.
So, just as an aside, Bruce has told me that one of the activities he will be doing every morning is revelry at 4:30 a.m., 04:30. I told him that if he wanted to live past 04:35, he'd shut up.
Oh, hey, no, I am totally excited about him doing it at 04:30. I hope he takes some pictures and sends it to me. I'll look at him at 8:30.
Good on you. Good on you. Somehow I don't think NCL would allow us to do that to their ship.
Is that when you have to get the bugle out? Oh dear.
They do it at 6:30, so it's not that early. It's early, but it ain't that early. But yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure the other 3,000 passengers or 4,000 passengers would love it.
Yeah, right. Oh, it'd be great. I should learn to play the bugle just for that cause.
It's all right. I can play a kind of bugle, but it doesn't look anything like,
You playing those little corn bugles?
No, I play the ram's horn, which is
okay,
a religious instrument, but I can do it. Anyway.
I figured you were a didgeridoo guy.
Well,
there you go. It's rather large.
Let me put this to you. I'm more of a didgeridoo than a didgeridoo player.
This is true.
Fair enough. I used to work with this colleague, and she was actually German of all things. And she came to work one day, and her face was like red all the way around here. And I'm a musician, and so I know instruments. I'm like, she must be like a tuba player or something. Like, it got her mouth in it. And so I was like, Sabina, what's going on right here? I was like, were you playing trumpet or trombone or tuba or something? And she goes, I'm a didgeridoo player.
Oh, really?
Some little itty bitty German girl is the last person in the world I expected to be a didgeridoo player. But I'll let you guys know the didgeridoo made it to Europe. So.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's exciting.
Wow.
The problem I've got playing the didgeridoo is I can blow out, but I can't breathe in simultaneously. And they do.
It's cyclical breathing. You have to blow and suck at the same time.
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, I
don't know. A couple of girls that could.
Ilana, you're taking this discussion down the wrong path again. We're bringing in humour.
Anyway.
Matt might start laughing. He might ask Crystal the same question. Can you?
I was just going to suggest that she needs to learn how to play didgeridoo. Apparently,
correct. So you're going to be on there. You're going to be kind of like a mentor, kind of like to some of your mates. Does that feel like you're putting on a bit of pressure on yourself?
Wait,
I think that's the role I normally operate in. And yeah, you can go.
hold
What's
on,
up?
hold on.
Oh,
Bruce sent me a package.
What? Revelry, good on you.
come on.
Yeah,
Can't play
Didn't
this.
hear
I played
anything.
the saxophone in high school. But we can ask Matt to practice, and he can play the reverie with Bruce.
I can play the trumpet, and there's no way I can play revelry. But
Crystal, get back to the other room.
yeah,
Seriously.
what are you doing here? We were having like a real grown-up conversation here. What was the question again?
So I was saying, being a kind of mentor on board the ship, what's it gonna do for you?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to I enjoy hearing other people's stories and meeting, you know, it's an interesting camaraderie. It's hard to describe. But it's kind of, when you meet your other veterans and guys that have had similar stories, and even if their story's not similar. One of my best friends is a work colleague of mine, and he's 15 years older than me,
Yeah.
almost 20 years older than me, somewhere in there. Was in the Navy, right? As on boats and stuff. I was in the Army. But the more we talk, we couldn't be, from the military's perspective, completely forward, but like the stories and what we went through and who we are as a person coming out of it, and the even some of the traumas and the frustrations and the scars that remain are the same, and it's really interesting getting to know other veterans, some that were combat, even the ones that weren't combat, that were, hey, all I did was sling beans and rice in the chow hall. I mean, I can relate to that, and,
Yeah.
and so just getting to know and hear people's stories it's part of why I joined the VFW. It's why I do what little I can do, with other veterans around in the community, and knowing in Crystal's engagement with HH4C in this cause, it's like exciting to me to really be part of the positive side, not just, oh, thanks for stuff, guys, but actually being part of the support group is important.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
That's it,
I do want to
support,
say that
yeah.
not everybody will go and hold a gun and go and kill people. Not everybody will be in that combat position. As
Right.
you say, there will be people out there slinging beans and whatever. As Kenny likes to say, getting people to where their tongue slaps their brain. But
Hey, soldiers need food, man. It's an important job.
Absolutely.
That's right.
so, and it's not only that; it's the guy who's the mechanic on the truck or the tank or the whatever. The guy who's fixing this, that, and the next thing. You're all part of the same group.
Machine.
Well, yeah.
You're all, yeah.
100%.
And at the
keeps
end
it
of the
working.
day, one person is no better than the other. You all play your part, but there is a time when you guys need to just come down and have some fun
Yeah.
and enjoy the moment. And that's one of the reasons why we decided that the Heroes Cruise would be a great cruise to bring people in. I know that a number of the fireys who also had issues with 7/11 lost 9/11 lost a
Oh, when
lot.
the Slurpees attacked, right?
Say again?
That's when the Slurpees attacked.
That's correct. The Slurpees attacked the.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah,
But 9/11 was worse, I think.
that's right. That's right. But a lot of the guys got involved in 9/11, and they certainly lost a number of mates, as well as had a bit of injury and so forth from that issue. I mean, that was one of the greatest memories of our time, because it actually upset business down under as well. So all I'm saying is the cruise is going to be great, because everybody will have a story and we'll be able to learn everybody's story on board. It's not there to bring people down, it's there to bring them up.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. And, the thing that's kind of been foremost in my mind is, like some of us, I was blessed, I came out with 20% disability. But really, it's trivial. I look at, some of my challenges, and while on my individual level, I can bemoan and mope about, oh, I've had these symptoms or what. But I know people that have lost limbs. I've got two friends that are one's blind, the other's partially blind. Another friend is mostly deaf. It's I've got, and I look at, any sort of trouble or frustration I have, and it's trivial compared to some of the challenges a lot of other people have gone through. And so there's some humility that comes from, and when you say, oh, I whine because I got a sore back and I've got PTSD and I can't sleep, and sometimes I've made bad decisions, and therapist said it's because that's nothing to my friend that had to relearn to walk.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's nothing to my friend that can't see his kids anymore.
So,
Um, so
with that
that
thought in mind, which one of your mates is an inspiration?
whew, I have too many, right? I think I really struggle with an individual. I couldn't give you that. I could probably give you five. I could probably give you Sergeant Sal right here, who taught me, the bald guy in the picture, of my first introduction of, like, hey, you're a boss, you're in charge of people. Do you understand what that means and what those people are expecting from you, right? And that lesson to me, and servant leadership, right? As a leader, you have an obligation to take care of your people before yourself. That came to me from him. So that's one right there. My friend started, Stephen Lamont Hall, was my squad leader, my first real squad leader when I was a young private. Taught me basic things in life, not just how to combat arms and fight, and how to deal with explosives, and when the enemy attacks, and then movement contact. And he taught me those things, but he taught me about being a gentleman with my girlfriend, and things to say and not say inappropriate. Like little things when you're 18 years old, right? That big, grown up influence in your life that was a mentor, not just on professional. And I was a soldier in this thing. It's like, hey, man, be a good man. When you're at home in your barracks. And we had conversations like that. And Sergeant Hall, he ended up becoming a command sergeant major, which is the highest rank that you can get enlisted in the Army. Um, is probably my greatest hero on so many levels, because he affected my life in more ways than he knows. And so there's several of them. Gene De Leon is also in the picture. Is probably guy taught me you could be a leader and still be a funny guy at the same time too. There's a bunch of Sostre, is one of my friends. He and I joined the army. Miracle Sostre out of Puerto Rico. We joined the army at the same time. I got out, and now he's a commander of a National Guard unit in Puerto Rico. I mean, excited about watching these guys. So I got too many heroes to list, one on one. But there's a or give you one, but there's definitely a lot of great guys I met, and I was only in the military for a short period of time. I can only imagine the number of really amazing people I would have met had I stayed in longer than 6 years.
So, do you think that the general community do not understand the relationship that service people get when they're in the service?
What do you mean by that? You talk about like what interaction with like the civilian world?
No, well, I think while you're in the service, the relationships that you create with each other. Like
Yeah, I mean,
when you work with someone here outside of the military, they're your workmates, but
yeah.
there's something, that extra something.
I think it's so like my workmates, um, we're not willing to die for each other. Like we care about each other, but we're there for money, right? Like, and so I'm in manufacturing and business management and process optimization. That's the world I'm in now, right? So there's a book out there called The Goal, right? Which is about the theory of constraints and the underlying philosophy of business and yada yada. But the goal is to make money, right? So any organization, whether you're private, a 401c3, a church, or a business, the goal of what they're doing is to make money. What they do with that money is different, whether it be a charitable organization, give it away, or a business and distribute it for profits, yada, yada. But the goal is always the same, right? To make money. And that goal is kind of underlined. It transcends between both, right? That philosophy.
Yep.
Uh, and I lost my train of thought there, but um, yeah, I confused myself, but I think you got my point. Maybe not.
The point I really wanted to bring out is that, I mean, the people out in the community, general community,
Oh yeah,
can take general, like we're working together today, tomorrow we might be at another job. You guys are stuck in the job.
yeah,
You guys are
yeah, and,
serving for an X amount of time.
yeah. And that's kind of where I lost my train of thought, but that's where I was going. Was in the civilian world, like the goal is different, right? It's about just providing and building the means. And whereas in the military, they've done really hard to remove that whole provision from the equation. Everyone's got a fixed income, all your basic needs are met regardless. Do your mission, right? So our context is totally different. It's not about trying to make some money for my family. It's about the mission, and I need people to accomplish a mission, and that mission is life and death level critical. And so the people that join you on that mission carry a higher degree of engagement because it is a life and death situation when those challenges arise. Whereas I get to work and we have a challenge like, we're going to lose some money, or we're going to have a bad day, or a customer or something might not be happy, but okay, we'll deal with it tomorrow and we'll make amends, or what have you. Whereas in that military, um, that the scope and the significance is am I going to be here, or are you going to be here tomorrow or not?
Yeah.
And so you form the bonds of like, I need to count on you're going to make sure you're here and I'm here tomorrow together.
So, Crystal has put up a question there. What part of your story do you wish more people understood?
How normal really fucked up looks. Sorry about my language.
Yeah.
That you can come back completely ruined mentally and emotionally and look the exact same as the day you left.
Yeah.
And that those challenges look like silly excuses. And in the military, we're conditioned or trained, right? That we drive, we persist, we remain. I'll guard everything within the limits of my post and quit my post only when properly relieved. Right? That implies that if you're shot and you haven't been relieved, you're still there.
Yeah.
Right? Like that sort of thing. That changes your psyche, right? In the way you perceive stuff. And so you hold yourself up like nothing's damaged. Our soldiers will, our military will, like there's nothing wounded, there's no damage, but sometimes you really are damaged inside, and getting the help. It's twofold, right? It's a slippery slope. You don't want to fall into that's my identity. I'm wounded and I'm just this victim. You don't want to be a victim because we're not that, but acknowledging that, hey, there is a wound that needs to be healed and damage that needs to be repaired and things that need to be worked on, and that growth needs to happen, and that just because you're 24, you got put in charge in a leader doesn't mean you have it figured out. You don't.
Yeah.
You're still a young man. You're still growing. You're 23, 24, 25. You're still a little boy, man. Like you're a grown man. You're fully competent. Yeah. But intellectually, and you don't know what you don't know. And that, those young men and boys and ladies as well that are going through this, the people around them can't see that.
Yeah.
Right. They can't see that struggle and that what it is. And it manifests itself as sometimes irrational behavior, outbursts, that don't match the circumstance, alcohol abuse, drug abuse. Some guys have, can't control their emotion in those circumstances or don't know how. And so when people on the outside, they just see a guy that's an alcoholic or an asshole or rude or doesn't react appropriately. When in reality, it's somebody that needs some coaching, some support. And I encourage people, if people are telling you need help, go find someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? A therapist, it doesn't mean you're sick. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're defective or garbage or infect. It just means that you're saying, hey, I could use a coach because the way things are kind of going in my game right now or my life, the results, the evidence is showing me that I'm not, if you're not winning and feeling like you're winning every day, and maybe not every day because nobody does, but like feel like as in life that you're getting direction, find somebody to give you some pointers, right? And that pointers could be, hey, go join a group, join a thing, go do, whatever it is, but reaching out and saying, hey, you know what? Inside here and inside here, it's just not what I want it to be, what I think it should be. That's your indicator that go find somebody to talk to.
And
It's
that's one of
very
the and that's one of the opportunities we'll be able to do on the cruise is we will have some space set aside where we can use that as sanctuary kind of where people can go in and have somebody to talk to if they need to or just have some time out. And that we believe that because the people who are setting it up, Bruce is ex-military, he's been through it. We've got Chris coming on board. He's also, he's currently working as a civilian in the military. So, I mean, he's had some exposure. He's been inside and all of that sort of stuff.
we would call those a DOD contractor, right?
Yeah.
Those guys in the military know exactly what that is, and those guys are around us all the time. And Chris is a inspirational guy himself too.
Oh, he is. He is, and there's a few guys on board with the group that are inspirational, and we will put them. They will be there, ready to listen and talk, as we all are, ready to listen. Some of us are not counsellors. Don't take our advice. Just you can dump, but don't take our advice. Another question that is asked is, after everything you've given in the service, when was the last time you truly felt at peace? And what did that moment look like for you?
I mean, I find my peace all the time whenever I'm with my kids, when I'm with Crystal. But that's the key, right? Is figuring out, because that's different for each person, and it changes over time too. Like what my peace and what brought me the peace changes and evolves, right? But it's being mindful of what is peace and learning what is peace first and foremost. And if you haven't, don't understand what that is, you need to, again, find somebody to talk to that knows what peace looks like. That can show you, hey, look for this. Let's find that. Let's get here. Let's work in these things. And I don't want to sound like I'm selling counseling or therapy, but I'll tell you what, finding the right people to just listen and talk, get it off your chest and go, do you feel better now? It's as silly as it sounds. A lot of times it's like, yeah, I just need to say it. But finding those connections and someone to show you what peace is, and be mindful of protecting that peace and pursuing that peace is important.
Well, you talk about counselling as being important, and I teach first aid. 20% of my course is not wrapping bandages. 20% of my course is talking about mental health and counselling and all that sort of stuff. So it's not an unimportant thing to talk about. It's a really important topic.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is I've got up here for anybody who's interested, this is the website for Helping Hands. What Helping Hands for Cruising needs is we're going to get this cruise up and going. We are roughly about 870 odd days away. If you feel so disposed, jump onto the Helping Hands for Cruising website, helpinghandsforcruising.org, and there'll be information about the cruise as time goes by. But please, folks, we need donations. We need to be able to get I was doing some facts and figures with Chris. By the way, Chris is the treasurer for Helping Hands, and in order for us to put 10 recipients on board that cruise ship, we need $50,000. Just 10 people with a caregiver, so a double occupancy. We need $50,000 to put those 10 people on board a cruise ship. So funds are important. If you know of anybody out there who's willing to either make a donation through the QR codes that we've got up here, or else
Be a corporate sponsor.
be a corporate sponsor, we would be greatly
Wonderful.
appreciative of that, because guys like Matt, and I'm using you as an example because you're sitting right in front of me, guys like Matt certainly deserve a break. I mean, they've given the ultimate. And we talk about Matt, we talk about people like Jimmy from the Astute Tourist, who's a firefighter.
Yep.
We talk about people who are from the police, from all services that are frontline. And those guys, some of the stuff they go through, they definitely need a break. So the cruise is there to give them a break, so let's do that. Let's give them that opportunity. So what I'm saying to folks is, please jump on, donate, give us access to sponsorship. The more we have, the better. And Matt, you know what? You never know, we might change your life, right?
You know what? I hope we do. I hope we do. I know we will. I have a faith, and I believe that we will.
Well, we want to change 10 lives or more, 20 lives or more.
Well,
So,
it'll be,
there we go.
yeah. And for us to put 10 people on board, we definitely want as many people as possible on board that cruise. We're currently looking at 200 cabins booked at this particular point in time. So if we can step over 200 cabins, we would be eternally grateful, because that means we get to charter the ship partly. So
just by booking and coming on board.
Does that mean we get to repaint it like a different color?
only if we do the whole ship, and then we can give it a different colour.
Okay.
So if you know
something nice, have you
so-
got a livery already planned?
Oh, I figure a whole, army digital camouflage with,
Camouflage.
flames on the side or something. I don't know.
and we've
Screaming eagle
also,
on the front.
yeah, we've also put in a notification to NCL that the top of the ship is going to have a flatbed where we can actually put a F-35 on top. No, shut up, Shaun.
Shut up, Shaun. Yep.
I like how you think. This could be interesting.
Yeah.
Live fire demonstrations off the front bow.
Shut up. You're giving away the secrets.
Okay.
Mate, I want to thank you heaps for coming up. I know
Yes,
it's been a
appreciate
tough,
you, yes.
tough topic.
Thank you for sharing.
We know what you're
really
living
good.
through.
It gives people a better an understanding.
Yeah. Well,
And-
I'm excited about the cruise. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest. So it will be my first one. Like I said earlier, I've been around HH4C for a couple of years now, and I'm excited about the organization. I've watched what you guys have been doing from the sidelines, and it'll be nice to get involved and finally meet Shaun Ornellas. I've talked to you guys numerous times on the phone, but to finally see you guys would be nice.
Well,
Yes.
I'm wondering whether you actually have legs or not, because
I
all
don't.
I see you every time I see you from the waist up. So there we go.
Ron, you saw that. I call BS. You saw me yesterday.
That's true.
Oh, fibbing.
Sir Fibber. Flash is asking, do we need some young hands to get that boat?
Oh, the more
First of
hands,
all-
the merrier.
First of all, Flash, let me just clarify something for you. It is a ship, not a boat. There are about 12 or 20 boats on that ship. So, yes, we will always enjoy it. And, of course, Crystal has gone, laugh out loud, Matt. Yeah. So she likes your joke.
Hey, if somebody gets it.
Yeah, it's my accent. That's the problem. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
what you say, it's the accent.
Yeah.
All right. With that in mind, mate, I'm going to shut this down. Give you guys a bit of a heads up. On Tuesday, we will have chatting with Shaun on Helping Hands for Cruising, and Wednesday will be Hump Day with me and Jimmy. Flash, you are 100% correct. We will need plenty of hands, and we'll need them on deck during the cruise, so jump on board. With that, and it'll be us doing so Jimmy and I will be Wednesday at Hump Day, and then next week Friday, you never know where we might be. Mate, thank you heaps.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna
Lovely to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure. I'm going to end this up, and don't run away. Don't run away. All right?
I'll be here.
Okay, folks, we'll catch up with you next week. Take it easy. Have a good day.
Bye.
Come from the land down under, where the sun is hot and bright, beaches cool and waves of thunder. Morning turns to golden night. So much there is to see, my friend, from the city to the shore. Grab a stool, we'll find an end to keep us wanting more. Down under's calling, can't you hear? Echoes in the breeze, feel the magic everywhere, in the rustling of the trees. Mountains rise and rivers flow, adventures wait around, meet the world on a winding